my oldest and dearest friends posted a question on Facebook, and his question was about the possessive apostrophe in English, and I figured that if he's got this question, you might have it too. So first and foremost, when do we use this apostrophe? We use this apostrophe to substitute the preposition of. For example, we don't say the hair of Mr. Weber, we say Mr. Weber's hair. We use it generally for people and for animals. We don't generally use it for things. Why not? Because it's not generally easy to say. For example, we don't generally say the table's top. We say the top of the table because it's easier to say. So the real question probably isn't when do we use it, but when do we use the apostrophe and the S? Well, we use the apostrophe and the S when it's a singular noun. For example, Mr. Weber's hair. Mr. Weber is singular. There is only one Mr. Weber. What if it's plural? Well, that depends. If it's an irregular plural noun that doesn't end in an S, for example, men, women, children, or people, well then we use the apostrophe S. For example, men's hats, women's bags, children's books, people's ideas. But if that plural noun ends in an S, then we use only the apostrophe. For example, teacher's books. Now you may ask yourself, what's the difference in pronunciation between the teacher's books and teacher's books? Well, basically there's no difference in pronunciation. Oh my God, well, how will you know what I mean to say? You'll know by the context. Remember that English has to be very direct and objective and no confusion. So if it was easy to confuse them, we simply wouldn't do it. Let me give you an example. Number one, I went into the classroom and the teacher's books were on the table. Second example, I went into the teacher's room and the teacher's books were on the table. In the first example, you would understand that it was a singular teacher. In the second example, you'd probably understand that it was the plural of teacher. Okay, so we always use the apostrophe S for people and for animals? No, not always. We use it when it's super duper easy to say. Keep that in mind. For example, we don't generally say Shakespeare's works. We say the works of Shakespeare. Why? Because too many S's is complicated to say. So that brings up the other exception. Do we always use it then for singular nouns? No, not always. There are two biblical exceptions and Greek names. The biblical exceptions are Jesus and Moses. Why? Because it's difficult to say Jesus and Moses. And with Greek names that end in an S, like Sophocles, Socrates, Hercules, it's difficult to say Socrates, Sophocles, or Hercules, and so we say the labors of Hercules and not Hercules' labors. Let me give you a quick test. My son's name is Lucas, and he does have hair. To express the idea of the hair of Lucas, do we say Lucas's hair with an apostrophe S, or do we say Lucas' hair with only the apostrophe? And the answer is Lucas's hair with the apostrophe and the S. Why? Because there's only one Lucas, like there's only one Mr. Weber.